Test. Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're going to call the Peabody School Committee Subcommittee for Building and Grounds meeting to order. Tonight we have, in addition to me being here, Joseph Amico, Superintendent Dr. Josh Vidala, Assistant Superintendent Chris Lord, and our business manager, Joe Scanlon. Tonight I think we're going to talk about statements of interest. So I'll just turn it over to Dr. Vidala.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hockman. So as I mentioned previously at a school committee meeting, the MSBA has put out notice that they are accepting statements of interest for new building projects and accelerated repair. So as a district, we need to decide, do we want to enter accelerated repair on any of our schools to do windows, boilers, or the roof? Last year we submitted the west and we got in. We'll be doing that project this summer. The deadline for accelerated repair projects is June 1st. At this time, I don't believe that we would be submitting anything. Talking to the facilities director and the city, it doesn't appear as though we'll be entering an application for accelerated repair. What we will be entering in and what we'd like to discuss tonight is the core program for brand new school buildings. So significant repairs or new buildings. Last year, we had entered 2 statements of interest, one for the Center Elementary School and one for Peabody Veterans Memorial High School. So we have to decide as a group and as a city, ultimately, what do we want to apply for in order to get in the program. And I do think that it is beneficial for us to put forth any project that we would like to see in the future, because if you applied last year and didn't get it and then you don't submit one, it shows that you maybe don't have the same interest. So you have to keep applying until you get accepted into that core program. So I think we can open it up for discussion. Peabody Veterans Memorial High School definitely needs to get into the core program as soon as humanly possible, and the Center Elementary School also needs some love. And I know that both of those were entered last year, so I'll put it out to the committee, but it should be recommended that we would likely put forth two statements of interest again this year. And I know that you both know the center well, and you know the high school well, and I think it would really show MSBA and show the community that Peabody is really serious about these 2 projects.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Vidala. There's clearly a need for major improvement, if not new construction, for both the Center Elementary School and the Peabody Veterans Memorial High School. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for also putting the work and the effort in to determine that on some of the other projects for roofs, windows, and boilers, that we're in a better place, in large part due to the work that's been taking place over the last decade in terms of replacing windows, places like the Burke, roofs at the McCarthy, and I think the West, that's going to take place this summer, and a bunch of other projects that have taken place. It's we're starting to, I think, catch up on some of the smaller projects, but we do clearly have a need for 2 bigger projects, and you've identified them. Mr. Amico?
Thank you, through the chair. Thank you, Dr. Vidala, for that, and thank you, Mr. Hockman. I agree. The high school should be first and foremost on our list. It houses the most students other than this building and maybe even more at times. And this Higgins building has really transformed our landscape, both in education and our neighborhood. And this whole area here is just really, the Higgins is the cornerstone, and we need that for the high school as well. The high school sits on a beautiful campus. The grounds are awesome. The football field, maybe we need some touches on some of the other fields, but it's a great setting. And if we can build a brand new high school up there, or repair the existing one, I would obviously go for a new one before repairing. I think that needs to be done first and foremost. The center school is definitely, and it needs to be on the list. It's a close second, I would have to say. I mean, we have a lot of experience over at the center. They have an incredible staff. They're operating without a gymnasium, without a true cafeteria, and so on. You know, I would just love to see the MSBA approve both of those buildings, and we would be in incredible shape for the next 30 years. I'll yield.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Amico, well said. So I think at this point, unless Dr. Lord or Mr. Scanlon have anything they wish to add, I think we're prepared to take a motion if you're prepared to make one, Mr. Amico.
I'd like to make a motion to add the high school to our list, and secondly, to add the center school to our list, to the MSBA for statement of interest on the accelerated repair, full program, thank you. Core program, thank you. So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Miko, and that motion is seconded by Ms. Carpenter. Thank you for joining us. It was traffic, you know, we were talking about traffic a little earlier, and you were talking about the So, the motion on the floor made by Mr. Amico is to follow the recommendation of the superintendent to apply for and introduce a statement of interest for the Peabody Veterans Memorial High School and a statement of interest for Center Elementary School into the core program with the MSBA, and that we will report out based on this vote. I assume it'll be favorably to the committee, the full school committee at our regular meeting. And thank you for seconding that, Ms. Carpenter. We're going to go roll call vote. We'll go alphabetically. Mr. Amico?
Yes.
Ms. Carpenter?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Dr. Vidal, is there any further business you wish to bring before this subcommittee?
Nope, we'll just note that that is due on June 25th, and we'll give updates prior to the submission.
Thank you. Ms. Carpenter, thank you for the motion to adjourn, seconded by Mr. Amico. We're now in adjournment.